This was the star of the 1967 International Motor Show in Frankfurt, the NSU Ro 80. NSU was a car maker with a long history in Germany. And with the Ro 80, it presented both an innovative design and an entirely new technology. The design followed the technology. The pioneering wedge shape with a compressed front was made possible by the relatively small rotary piston engine under the hood. Armin Bauder was involved in the development of the NSU Ro 80's Wankel engine. He explains that the Wankel engine's mass is balanced, a great advantage over the reciprocating piston engine, which is harder to balance. The vibration is always carried over to the vehicle. In a rotary engine, by contrast, there's hardly any vibration inside the car. The car just takes off, with the engine purring like an electric motor. Another benefit was the power density, or the performance potential. The reciprocating piston engines of the time were somewhat weaker, so the rotary engine offered some advantages there too.
In der Leistung, spezifischen Leistung etwas schwächer, und das waren so die Argumente, die man hatte.
NSU mounted its first 115 horsepower two-rotor Wankel engines in the Ro 80. Even more than 47 years later, the innovative aerodynamic form looks amazingly modern for a vintage car. It looks at least 20 years younger, half a lifetime in the history of automotive design. From the late 1940s to the mid-1960s, NSU focused on smaller models. The Ro 80 was only the car maker's first experiment with a larger car, and it was the world's first series-produced sedan with a rotary engine. The engineers who worked on it still wax sentimental. Armin Bauder says they were surprised. At first, they couldn't believe it. All of a sudden, here was a top-of-the-range model with such a sleek design. The body was meant to be tailored to the engine, which was compact and low-riding, and it didn't even have conventional pistons.
Niedrigen, kleinbauenden und tiefliegenden Motor, und es ging damals dann auch kein Hubkolben hinein.
The specifications were decent for the time. It was the price tag that scared off potential buyers. In 1967, the Ro cost more than 14,000 Deutschmarks. NSU emphasized its high-quality interior. The interior itself wasn't innovative pioneering, but workmanship and comfort were first-rate. The power steering was connected to a three-spoked wheel with impact absorber. The trunk offered nearly 580 liters of space with room for expansion. Well-formed seats and a long wheelbase made for a comfortable ride. Unfortunately, the Ro 80 guzzled about 15 liters of fuel per 100 kilometers, a fatal flaw when the first oil crisis hit. It was and remained a car for individualists. But the customer base just wasn't large enough to keep the Ro 80 going over the long run. The Ro 80 remained in production for 10 years until 1977, producing close to 37,500 units. But the problems with the rotary engine weren't solved until the very end. Then it turned out to be a very sturdy engine, but it was too late to rescue the car's reputation.